Hey guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to another video, and I cannot believe I'm saying this. We're doing another video about book fairs. So honestly, I never thought I'd film another video like this because I thought I'd always have a Scholastic book fair, but we are gonna try a local bookstore. They are from Midway, Kentucky. So we're in Georgetown, Kentucky, and they're about 30 minutes away, and it's a bookstore called A Likely Story. And this is an experiment to see if can a high school have a local bookstore like cater their book fair. The first thing I thought I'd do is show you around and show you what they brought, and then I'll tell you why we switched companies to see this grand experiment. So they still did bring all the junk at the checkout counter, never fear. And they're gonna put these books out tomorrow. So, you know, that box won't be there. But this is where they'll be set up right here at the circulation desk, right? So they still have, I say junk, it's like knickknacks and stuff. Should I say junk? I don't know. Knickknacks at the checkout counter. Scholastic, I called it junk at the checkout counter. And then here are the books that they brought. So it's 6 tables worth. Obviously there's no signs, but we're gonna put, I think I've got some signs I can hang that say the different genres because that is how we organized it by genre. But they did actually bring popular young adult books. So like Dear Martin, Dear Manny, I mean, all these Kathleen Glasgow books. The romance table is very well stocked. I mean, we don't even have these in our library, so I guess I need to because those are probably gonna be so popular. Like the Lynn Painter books, those are gonna be super popular, including, you know, the brand new one. They do have some brand new books. This is the fantasy table. Fantasy is not as popular as it used to be, but like Powerless is still a popular series. The Hunger Games, which I'd never seen these editions. These are like super beautiful. They do have a few kind of more books for like staff and then a little 50% off table. So there will be some cheaper books for students as well. These will be 50% off, and I'm gonna put a sign there that says that. Then we have the mystery table. We've got Jennifer Lynn Barnes. We've got Frida McFadden, which I didn't think about, but I suppose could be. I need to make sure these are young adult appropriate. The bookstore did vet these ahead of time to make sure that they were young adult appropriate, which, ooh, look at these pretty sprayed edges on some of these books. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. So I will go through and kind of do one final sweep to be sure that they are young adult appropriate. And then finally the graphic novel table over here. It's a lot of younger titles, but there are some more like My Hero Academia and stuff over here as well. Death Note, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't even know what Steel Ball Run is, but I've had some students request it. All these Dork Diaries, Wings of Fire, I Survived, Dog Man. So I think, you know, these will even be popular for students to buy for their siblings, which a lot of times kids buy, you know, books for their siblings and teachers buy books for their kids and stuff like that. So why are we switching from a Scholastic book fair to a local bookstore? Well, there are multiple reasons. Just to go through them quickly for you. One is that I could never meet the threshold, it seems like, for taking the cash option. You have to sell $3,800 worth of merchandise from Scholastic to take the cash option, right? And then you get like whatever percentage that they give you, whatever. But I cannot ever seem to get that much. So I think it's like, is it 20%, 25%, something like that? But I can never make the threshold, and it's not my own fault, I don't think. I don't think it's our school's fault. I think it's Scholastic is not sending us good stuff anymore. And I've heard a lot of other librarians say the same sorts of things in my Facebook groups that like, hey, or even in my emails that I get, they're like, hey, does anybody else have a different book fair? Because Scholastic's not sending me the good stuff anymore. They're always out of stock of the good stuff. Or if you do get a few copies of something popular, it sells out immediately, and then online it says out of stock. And obviously another huge problem is we do not have, Scholastic doesn't have a high school book fair. They have a middle school book fair, and that's what they send us. And they send us one extra case of young adult books, young adult. But honestly, they're still usually pretty young books, and they're just not these popular ones. Like all the ones I just showed you, like they're not gonna be at Scholastic, right? So this company even asked me, this bookstore said like, hey, do you like this selection better? I was like, yes, because it's young adult books. So obviously this is not Scholastic's fault necessarily. They just don't have a high school book fair, but they really need to get into the high school market because, oh my gosh, like I think they could make a killing there because high schoolers still love book fairs. We learned that from the first video. If you've not seen my first video about can a high school have a book fair, the answer is yes. It is very successful, and I will try to link that video down below. Okay, so those are the two main reasons. I could not make them cut off anyway for the taking the cash option, which meant that I had to take the Scholastic Dollars option, which means you can only use the money. I think I got like a pretty decent amount, 35%, 30%, 40%, whatever it was. I think I got 40% last year of the money I made from Scholastic in Scholastic Dollars, which means you have to order from their Scholastic Dollars catalog, and that's your only option. The stuff in that catalog is not necessarily a course for high schools either. The books are not for me. There's like every now and then I could buy the new Hunger Games book, and that was about it. And I bought the new Alan Gratz book. Other than that, it's like furniture, maybe stuff for the makerspace. I did buy I bought the stuff I didn't buy a Cover One machine, but I bought something similar. It's like a bookbinding machine from Amazon. And then I bought the glue strips from Scholastic. So that actually worked out well. Honestly, I usually just buy like gifts and incentives and things like that. So I buy like prizes for giveaways, invisible ink pens, nice like book tumblers, book t-shirts, book umbrellas, that kind of thing to give away for various prizes, or thank you items. If a teacher like has helped me do something, I let them come to pick something out of the prize closet. I put it on my wheel, the little prize wheel I have, that they can spin and get something from the prize closet. So anyway, that is what I use my Scholastic dollars for, and I have a ton of them. I have like $3,000 still sitting at Scholastic from the last several years, and I don't have anything to do with it, so it's just going to sit there and get used every now and then for prizes for like the next few years, probably. I can keep that money for a long time. It never expires. So this bookstore will give me 20% back, so not like technically cash, but 20% to buy something from their store, and then give me a discount on the price of those books. And they can order like anything, so it's not just what they have in their store, it's like anything online, like they can order anything basically. So I get to pick. So like I think the other bookstore, this bookstore did a book fair at a nearby school, and they said they sold like $4,000 worth of stuff, and the librarian there wound up getting like $800 worth of books or something. So that's really good, especially because there are some differences between doing this bookstore and Scholastic. And I'm sure every independent bookstore will be different. But one of the big differences is, one, it's only 2 days instead of 5. Scholastic, I did 5, sometimes even like 6 days if they didn't pick it up soon. But it's only 2 days because they can't leave their store like forever. But do we really need 5 days? I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Will 2 days cover it? We're going to find out. I just don't know if we can sell $4,000 worth of stuff in 2 days. But who knows, because we do have a good selection this time. And then the other big difference is that they are going to work the cash register. Oh my gosh, I don't have to sit behind a cash register for 5 days. I don't have to sit behind it for 2 days. I just am going to be kind of the monitor, because there are going to be, that's a kind of a downfall, is that there's going to be a lot of kids in here at a time. We have a lot of English classes, so there's going to be overlapping classes in here where we're going to have 2 classes shopping at the same time. And I tried to make it so that big classes were never with other big classes, you know. So we will have some students sit on the other side of the library. I think that'll help. Like if you're not shopping, or if you're done shopping, you can go sit over there on that side, and only people actively shopping will be over here in this area, so that they just don't, you know, try to like pocket things and it just doesn't get too crowded and whatnot. It'll just get chaotic. And I have library aides who can help with that as well. I'll put them on police duty usually. I'm like, you guys sit here and look, you know, intimidating. So there's that. But otherwise, I think this is going to be super successful. So my prediction, let's predict now, and then we'll update you throughout the book fair. My prediction is super successful, like as in a lot of kids are going to buy a lot of books. I don't know if I'll make as much money as I did with Scholastic, whereas, you know, I'm only going to get 20% right now. Before I got like 40%, but it's stuff I couldn't buy. Now I'm at least going to get things I can order books that I will actually use. So I think I'll sell some stuff, obviously, but the books are more expensive than Scholastic, although they tried to bring a lot of paperback books, so they're not $30 hardcovers unless they're brand new releases, and they have that 50% off table, and then they brought a ton of like little knickknacks that are not as expensive. So like there's even some bookmarks that are $1, and little fidget things and little pens and reading lights and like these little, you know, sticky tabs, you know, for annotating books. I don't know how much these are. This doesn't say, but I think everything is, you know, fairly priced for sure. Okay, so tomorrow it's 5:40 in the evening, the night before the book fair, and we just got everything set up. So I did have to come in on the weekend for them to have time to set everything up, because they couldn't do it the morning of. They can't leave their store unattended for super long periods of time either. And like they have to be, you know, they're busy, like they're doing other things. They're running a bookstore. So, but they did the setup. I mean, I helped, but it took us a little over an hour, I think, to do the setup. Anyway, I will keep you updated tomorrow during the book fair. I will show you some of our promoting that we're doing for it, which is not like quite the same as we did with Scholastic, but we'll talk about that later. So wish me luck. I'm gonna go get a good night's sleep. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know, but I'm excited. It's go time. They should be here any minute. I'm gonna go let them in. We're gonna get started. We gotta decorate, because they didn't want to decorate on Friday, because then people would think the book fair was Friday. We have a banner that we put a likely story instead of Scholastic on. We're gonna hang it kind of on the big railing right out there. So I'm pretty excited about that. And we have some balloons that have books on them that we need to blow up, and streamers, and I don't know, there's a lot to do. Oh my gosh. Day 2 of the book fair. I am wet. I just dropped my child off at daycare. I did not get a chance to, that was definitely not my mirror hitting a garbage can. I did not get a chance to update you guys yesterday because I was too tired. That's how exhausted I was after this book fair. I am more exhausted than I was with Scholastic, because with Scholastic, I got to sit there. I had to sit behind the table, sure, like for 5 days, which was annoying, and I couldn't do anything else. But all I did was walk yesterday. I walked like 10,000 steps before I even got home from work. Sorry for the rain if you hear the rain. But I figured it's the only time I have to update you, because there's an early morning class this morning, so I have to go in early, like a little bit early, and the book fair people have to be there early, so I can't even film a clip before school because I have a class coming before school. So anyway, it was very, very busy yesterday, and I think we did pretty good. I can't keep up with the sales like I did with Scholastic to know, because I can't see, like, you know, the cash register. I mean, they had card sales, cash sales. I don't think they know exactly how much they made, but overall they said they thought it was going really, really well. So that's good. The kids seemed interested in the books that they brought. Like I said, the selection's not as, did I tell you this? I can't remember if I told you this. The selection is definitely not as big as Scholastic. Like maybe a third as many books as Scholastic brought. Maybe a fourth. But it doesn't matter, because the books that Scholastic brought weren't ones that the kids wanted. So they may have a lot of books, but they're not good ones that my students wanted to buy. So I still needed to have, you know, I needed more books that kids wanted. So there are more books that kids would want at this book fair. And they loved all the knickknacks at the checkout counter, all that kind of stuff. Some of them sold out really, really quickly. They were a big hit. They did bring a lot of paperback books so that kids could try to have a little bit cheaper option as well. The 50% off table that had some local authors, and kids actually bought some of it. Like I thought, oh, they're not going to care about the local authors. They did, because it was 50% off. So there's that. So today we'll see how it goes. I don't know when I'll know the final total, so I might have to do another update on this video to know like how much money I made and how much it compared to Scholastic. But I mean, it seems to be going pretty well. It's like I said, it's hard to say. I heard the kids say that they did want more books at one point, but then everybody else seems like, especially the teachers, seem like that they loved the choices that they did have. And of course they can't bring every book, because whatever they don't sell, they have to take back to their store. Like they're stuck with those books if they didn't sell them. So I get it, they can't bring like every book in the world. But the thing is, they can order any book. So kids could order any book that they wanted to from them, and they would be shipped to my school. They would pay for them at the time, then be shipped to the school, and then I would deliver them to the kid. And we had a few kids do that. I'm gonna try to really push that today, because they can order anything. Scholastic, you can't do that. Guys, the book fair is packed up and it is over. I don't know how much money I made, so I guess I'm gonna have to give you another update. They said I did really well, and they said they thought it was over $2,000. I'm hoping it's like a lot more than that, but if it's over $2,000, that means I made $400 in store credit that they're going to give me, plus they're going to give me discounts on those books, which means the Scholastic, I was getting around $1,600, I think, for a book fair, like with the Scholastic dollars. So would I rather have a lot more money that I can't spend, or less money that I can actually buy books with that my kids want, you know? But I'll hear probably like in the next week or so about how much money I got. And that is a huge plus, guys. A huge plus is that I don't have to worry about the money. I don't have to count the money every day. I don't have to turn in the money every day, worry about locking the cash register all the time, you know, sitting behind the cash register. But I will say, the opposite problem though, because I wasn't sitting behind the cash register all the time, all I was doing was walking around. I walked 10,000 steps a day for the 2 days of the book fair before I even got home and had to chase my 4-year-old around. So honestly, I was like more tired, but it was only 2 days. Now it's over, right? And I can do other things with my schedule. So that's where we're at. And I think it went really well. Everybody seemed to like it, like I said. So I'll give you more update at the very end, and I will think hard about kind of the pros and cons to give you in the final wrap up. Ignore the book tasting setup behind me, but today is our final wrap up. It has been about a week or two since I've updated you, but I have the final totals from the book fair, so I thought you'd be interested to know and see how it compares to Scholastic and see what our decision is moving forward with our school book fair. So the company that came, A Likely Story, the little local bookstore, sold $2,300 worth of stuff in 2 days. To compare, last year we sold $3,000 worth of Scholastic stuff in 5 days. Now, I did have the same number of classes, basically, but students did not have the ability to visit like multiple times, or if they forgot their money, they couldn't bring money back. So I see why, obviously. Now, that means we sold less stuff because their stuff was more expensive, but the books that students bought were for themselves and not for other people, which is what they did with Scholastic. They bought presents for siblings and the junk at the checkout counter and all that sort of stuff. So $700 difference in sales. Then I get 20% in like in-store credit. So I get $460. To compare with Scholastic, I got $1,200 because I got 40%. So $460 versus $1,200, but it's $1,200 that I cannot really spend. It's Scholastic dollars, which for a high school, I can't really buy books that much with. Every now and then I can buy a book, but that's about it. With this money, I can actually buy books for my school library, and they're giving me a discount on those books. So I can actually buy quite a few books. I can buy more than $460 like in value worth of books because they're giving me, I think, a pretty good discount. So I'm gonna give a survey to our students, and I'm asking them, do they want another book fair in the spring? Because we've never done 2 book fairs. And if they do they want Scholastic or a Likely Story? Right now, I don't have a ton of votes, but just so you know, right now, yes, they want, only like 1 person said no for no book fair. So everybody wants another book fair. And right now it is a little more skewed towards a Likely Story. So I was kind of shocked because I thought it would be really strong one way or the other. I thought everybody would really miss Scholastic or else they really loved this one. But no, it's kind of split. So I'm still not sure, but to only have 2 days out of my schedule be missing and to have them count all the money and I don't have to turn the money in every day and fill out all the forms online, it's honestly worth it. Check. So the lesson here, check with your local bookstore. Now, if you are a middle school or an elementary school, obviously Scholastic may still be better for you because you're gonna get more money, right? Like you're gonna get more than 20%, especially, well now, if you take the cash option from Scholastic, it's like 20 or 25%. But I can never get to the cutoff to get the cash option. I cannot sell $3,800 worth anymore because like I said, we only got to $3,000 last year. So I had no option to take the cash option. I had to take the Scholastic dollars. So your school may be in a different situation. But for me, I think it's gonna be worth it to go with a local bookstore. So I think in the spring, we're gonna use the local bookstore again and let students be able to request what books they want to see at the book fair. Now, obviously they're not bringing like a ton of books. It doesn't look as exciting maybe as the Scholastic one with the decorations, you know, and all the signs that they send and all that, but I'm gonna make them myself. I'm gonna make some of our own decorations and our own signs for like the different genres at each table and things like that. So I've learned my lesson. I've learned some things from this experience, but overall it was so positive. These people at this bookstore are so nice. And I highly recommend contacting a local bookstore, and maybe they've never even done a high school book fair. Like I think this is only the 2nd school that this bookstore has ever done a book fair at. So they're looking to get in the bookstore market. Hey, if you live anywhere in Kentucky, check out a Likely Story, or even nearby. They might even come nearby. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was useful. We've learned a lot, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.